Sorry about that. We are rolling. Happy day, happy life, happy journey. We're here at Facebook Live in It. Today is Saturday, and typically we would do the I Got My Miracle Facebook Live. But of course, Rhythmia is not open at this time. So we're calling this I Am the Miracle. But then I realized we have been doing ceremonies on Thursday nights, just a small group of the staff that's here. We've been doing ceremonies on Thursday nights for just a small group of people and keeping the energy, maintaining work, doing our prayer work, doing our healing work so that we're healing ourselves, healing this community. And as we know from the work at Rhythmia, when you heal yourself, you heal your family. When you heal yourself, you heal your relationship. When you heal yourself, you heal your work. When you heal yourself, you heal the world, right? And it is that old adage, peace begins at home. Peace begins with us. We can't have peace in the world unless we are at peace with ourselves. So in that same way, we must remember that it's an inside job. So that's why we've been doing ceremony here. And it's a great privilege and honor to partake in it. And I participated last Thursday. And so I wanted this Facebook Live to be a revelation of insights that I received during ceremony. That's what it is. It is I got my miracle. I did get a miracle on Thursday. It was a tremendous ceremony. So many blessings, so many joys. And the first thing that I received, the very first thing that I got at ceremony was I heard the voice, right? You know that if you haven't drank the medicine before, we say that when you drink, every aspect of you gets drunk, right? Your mental body, your physical body, your emotional body, your ego, your subconscious, all of those parts of you, all those facets of you, all the subtle bodies get drunk, except for your soul. Your soul doesn't get drunk. And so it's really the first time that you hear that voice. It's the first time that you are, maybe not the first time, but that voice is loud and clear, like clearer than I ever hear it. And the truth is that, they call it the still small voice. Well, the voice is neither still nor small. It's just that I'm ignoring it generally, right? And so as we begin to, I'm noticing my glasses are a little crooked here. As we begin to open up more and more in our daily lives, that voice becomes more confident, more sure. We're more sure that we're hearing it. But in ceremony, there's no doubt, no doubt. And so the first thing the voice said to me, and it might, whatever you want to call that voice, different facet of God, and we're all different facets of God, but that voice said, you have no master, and you are not a slave. It was the first thing I heard. You have no master, you are not a slave. And I realized that one of the questions that I asked was, what am I afraid of? Be gentle with me, show me gently, please. What am I afraid of? And really, what part of what that was showing me was I am not a slave to fear. Fear is not my master. That was really what I took out of it, and to not give my power away to anything or to anyone. So that was one of the first, and so I'll say that to you. You have no master, and you are not a slave. You're not a slave to fear, doubt, or worry. You are not a slave to the emotional outbursts of other people. You are not a slave to anything that's going on in our culture, in society, to news cycles. We are not, there is no master. We have one source, one power, and it is within. The highest most God, the uppermost God, and the innermost God are the same God. Same one. As above, so below. As within, so without. As above, so below, the uppermost God and the innermost God are the same God. As within, so without. You can't have peace in the world until you have peace in your heart. You can't have love in the world until we have love in our heart. So we have no master and we are not a slave. First insight. What a miracle. What a miracle. How liberating. We're liberated. We're free. We're not a slave to unforgiveness. We're not a slave to jealousy. We're not a slave to envy. None of those are not our masters. We have the power. We are the ones that have the power. So take back our power. Don't give it away to lower vibrational frequencies. And that fits really beautifully with some other things that came through, which is to look up to the stars. I was looking at the stars. Oh my God, the stars are beautiful here in Costa Rica, but even more so in ceremony. It was like looking up and I could see the depth. It was like certain stars were hanging closer and certain were further away. And like all of the sky was sacred geometry, was amazing. And as I was looking to the stars, I realized, look to the stars, look up, look up, look towards the good. Keep ourselves lifted in high consciousness, right? This is the key, that the difference between any person that's walked the face of this earth, that has accomplished something that's worthwhile and that people remember, that have done good and have been a beneficial presence on the planet, the one thing that for sure they all have in common is they looked up. They looked towards the good. They kept themselves lifted in high consciousness. They didn't let lower vibrational frequencies of fear, doubt, and worry, not enoughness, naysayers, people who say they couldn't do it, shouldn't do it, don't do it. They didn't listen. They did what that inner voice was directing them to do, even though the appearances might have said, you're crazy. They kept an eye on the one. And in lifting our consciousness, we lift ourselves above the raucous cacophony of everyday chatter that you're not enough, that you can't do it, that it's not possible, that it's never been done before. We lift ourselves above that and we move into the realm of infinite possibility. We move into the realm of all things possible consciousness. That's how we accomplish things. That's how we make a difference in the world. That's how we become a beneficial presence on the planet. Look to the stars, look up, look to the good, turn towards something. Don't turn away from something, turn towards it. And we do that little by little, because guess what? Here's the other insight that I received. Guess what? I'm going to fall sometimes. I'm not going to always keep myself lifted in high consciousness. I'm not going to always remember to look towards the stars. And I have this mentality, I realized in ceremony. I call it the broke the seal mentality. And it goes something like this. Let's say I was eating, I was trying to fast from sugar. And I've been really good about fasting from sugar. And then all of a sudden, I have a Hershey's Kiss, let's say, or a piece of chocolate. Let's say I get some of that really good Costa Rican chocolate. And I get one of those 80% or 70% dark chocolate cacao bars of chocolate. And I'm trying to avoid sugar, but I go ahead and I have a square of the chocolate. And what normally happens is I go, well, I already had a square, might as well eat the rest of that candy bar, you know? So that's what I call seal's broken, might as well. So it's like, oh, no, I don't have to eat the rest of the chocolate bar just because I ate a piece of chocolate, right? But I have that mentality. I didn't realize how much I do that. Well, I messed up and I wasn't as productive this hour as I should have been, so I'm going to fuck off for the rest of the day. You know? Like, it's this mentality, well, the seal's been ripped off, so it's already screwed. It's already ruined. And I noticed that I do that, and this was an opportunity to remember to look up, remember to look towards when that happens. Because just because I had a piece of chocolate doesn't mean it's all screwed. Now, the chocolate isn't the real example. It's more like those when you're having a bad day. I mean, the chocolate is the example, is a good way to see. You know, it's a good analog. But the real rubber hits the road when we're having a bad day. When we're saying, you know what, today I wanted to be more loving in my heart, or today I wanted to be kinder and gentler with people. And then the next thing you know is you're yelling at somebody at home or at the store, right? Or on the phone. And you go, I would normally say, well, I've screwed that up. That intention is ruined for the day. No, we just keep returning. That was the other thing. One of the questions I asked was, what's my next step for my spiritual growth and development? And it came back, consistency. Consistency is the next step. So don't have the break the seal mentality. Oh, it's already screwed. Might as well go ahead and eat the rest of that bag of chocolate. No, you can return. You can repent. Do you know what the real word of repent is? The real root of the word repent is to return home. That's what it really means. So when you see some guy on the corner saying, repent, the end is near, you just go, yeah, no worries, I'll do it. I'm going to go home. I'm going home to God, home to the realization of oneness with all of life, home to the good, home to the realm of all things possible. So when we falter, when we slip, when we trip, we don't just stay down on the ground, we get up, take another step. This is what the voice said to me, right? This is what I received, was consistency, one foot in front of the other. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? One bite at a time. So I think I know I have used the example before of the space shuttle, but I think it's so important because it reminds us how constantly we must return to our original intention. So setting an intention is like setting a trajectory. Imagine that you set a trajectory. I want to go from point A to point B. There's my trajectory. And we're going to get blown off course. The space shuttle, NASA is the most precise organization on the planet. And the space shuttle or a rocket, when it's flying, is off course 80% of the time. 80% of the time, it's going in the wrong direction. And the job of mission control or the captain or the pilot is to return to the trajectory. Keep returning. I'm off course again. I keep coming back. One bite at a time, one foot in front of the other. Consistency. Our practice is little by little. We grow together. Think about it like this. Here's another example. Speaking of trajectory and what a little bit makes a difference. Let's say this is your trajectory. You're going straight ahead and you're in a ship on the ocean. And let's say at this point, you just turn 1 degree, just 1 degree. Now you're 1 degree off trajectory. Now if you follow that out, and you're going to be this far apart, right? Like it's not just 1 degree, but as you progress in that trajectory, your trajectory's here, but you're going that way, right? So in 100 miles, how far apart are you? Right? That's how just one step off course can lead us in a completely different direction. So, and it's all good because it's all unfolding in one direction. So no matter what our detours are, we're always going to return home. Don't fear. Fear not. You will always return home. In fact, it's already done because all of it's happening now, right? In a vertical notion of time, your soul is already whole, perfect, and complete and at home with the one source, right? The great masters and transcendent, the transcendent masters and great teachers and sages and all of your angels and all of your saints and all of your ancestors, they already know that you're already with them. You're already at home. But right now we're in three-dimensional time. We're in linear time. In this world of duality, where we have to move through time and space, and that's how we understand. That's our understanding of this dimension, right? So it's already done. So don't worry about getting off course. Don't worry about missteps because it's already complete. You're already at home. However, we can quicken the process, right? If it's going to happen, it might be 7 minutes, it might be 7 weeks, it might be 7 years, it might be 7 lifetimes. It's going to happen. It's already done. But why wait? So return. Get back to your trajectory. Don't have the John Jacob Mubarak seal's broken mentality. Oh, ripped the seal off already, so might as well indulge completely. No. Come back. Come back. Even when it feels like you've gotten off course. Just come back little by little. The more we return, the stronger our muscle of choice gets, and we can flex that muscle more and more. And then getting back is easier and easier and easier. So that was one of the continually turning towards. That was another insight that I had. And then finally, there were many more insights, but the final thing I want to share with you was around comfort versus discomfort. So here's the deal. We, as a human species, do not like to be uncomfortable. That is faux show. Anybody been doing ice baths, the Wim Hof ice bath, right? Uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. In fact, you watch me react when you try and put me in that cold water, right? So here's the deal. I notice how often I decide to make my decisions based on whether I'm going to be comfortable or not. And the real thing is putting myself in uncomfortable positions is stretching me. Think about yoga, right? We're putting ourselves in a position that isn't our normal position, but it's really good for us. And it's not about getting to the best pose you've ever done in your life. It's just about getting into the pose and seeing what's available. Let me just get there and see what's available. I started saying that to myself. Let me just show up and see what's available. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm just going to show up and see what's available. See what's there. See what's possible. That's moving into the realm of all things possible consciousness. And it is this awareness, and this insight came up because I wanted to leave ceremony. It was an all-night ceremony. And at one point I was like, all right, I'm good. I think I could go home now and go to sleep and not be so tired tomorrow. But then I realized I just want to be comfortable. I'm not as comfortable here as I would be in my bed. But then I thought, you mean the room that I've been locked in for the last 6 weeks? You want to hurry up and get back there? Come on, you're in community with people. The stars, when was the last time you slept under the stars? Go outside, sleep under the stars, enjoy the music, be with people. It might not be as comfortable as your bed, but what's available in a little bit of discomfort was so much joy, so much beauty, so much connectedness, so much opportunity, right? And so I notice how often I avoid, in so many aspects of my life, I avoid discomfort. And so to wrap that up, this awareness, just to bring that into your awareness so that the next time you're making a choice about what to do, it's a little bit outside your comfort zone, because the body physiologically wants comfort, and it's going to release, it's going to react with the brain, because the brain and the mind-body connection, and your body's like, no, I want to be comfortable. I should be sleeping right now. This is my sleep time. What are you doing to me? And it's going to release these hormones within you from the pituitary gland that tell you, oh no, I can't do it. I need to go to bed. I need to, right? But you're not your body and you're not your mind. We have the opportunity to not be a slave. Nobody's our master. We have an opportunity to not be a slave to the chemical urgings of our body. We can choose. No, I'm going to stay right here. This is what we're doing. We'll sleep later. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to stay in possibility now. I'm going to show up here and do something new now. That's where the body's going to want to pull you, and it's going to be like, no, my body's telling me. We hear that a lot here. My body's telling me that it's not appropriate for me to do blah, blah, blah. Sometimes we need to listen to our body, absolutely. But when it comes to transformational growth and transformational work, a lot of times that body is the ego that's telling you not to do it because it's going to crush your ego. And really pushing through, being in a little bit of discomfort is what's going to push you through to the next level. It's going to catapult you to the next level of your greatest yet to be. So when we're open again and people are doing ceremony, I'm telling them, You came here to do 4 nights of ceremony, do all 4 nights and don't leave. Stay, even when you don't want to, because this is where the work happens. When you push yourself through being a little bit uncomfortable. And it's not a bad thing to be uncomfortable and to manage it, because when we can practice being uncomfortable in our lives, when the real shift hits the fan, we aren't reactive. We're less reactive to life when it happens. And we can have composure and elegance and poise in the midst of confusion and turmoil. Wow, isn't that the way we want to be? So put yourself in an uncomfortable position for a minute so that when the real stuff happens, we're able to handle the discomfort. We can be with it and move through it with elegance and creativity and access infinite possibility. Those are the people that really make a difference in the world, are the people that in the midst of discomfort, in the midst of shit hitting the fan, when stuff looks like chaos, they keep their wits about them and they're able to see the possibility when no one else can. Nobody else can. And they're probably not even the person that people think should be doing it. I'm going to tell you a quick story about Xenophon. Xenophon was an ancient Greek philosopher. He studied with Socrates, and he was a student of Plato, and he was with the Greeks on their invasion into Persia. And I might get the story a little bit wrong, but let me just say it this way. Basically, Xenophon was a writer. He basically was embedded with the troops. He was like a historian and a writer, and he was with the troops as they invaded Persia. This is, 300 BC maybe. I hope I get that date right. But he's embedded with the troops, and then the Persians kick the Greeks' ass. And they know that the next day the Persian army is going to come and going to slaughter them all. And the generals didn't know what to do. And Xenophon, the writer, he came up with this brilliant plan. He's like, look, forget trying to take all of our stuff, and we're gonna leave tonight, in the middle of the night, and we're going to travel light. We're not going to take all of our tools and supplies, and we're going to have our wits about us, and we're going to live on the road. We're going to use nature and gather food on the road, and we're going to escape. And they ended up escaping. It was hard, and they got caught in the mountains, and they had to go through snow, and they didn't have the proper equipment. But if they took all their equipment, they would have been too slow and wouldn't have been able to escape the impending onrush of the Persian army. But it was a writer that led the troops, and they were all saved. They all made it back home. And to this day, Xenophon is noted for that. And I want to say that he was a person who, in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of fear, he could see the possibility when no one else could. That's how we want to be. That's how we want to act. And we're going to do that by daily and regularly, through our spiritual practice, putting ourselves in some uncomfortable situations. I don't want to meditate today. That's one of them. I don't want to work out today. That's another of them. I don't want to eat healthy today. That's another one of them. I want to watch Netflix. That's, whatever it is. By placing ourselves in a position where we can be a little bit uncomfortable, we learn to move through our reactionary self, and then in those moments when we must, in the moment, learn to react or learn to respond and not react, we'll have the capability to do that. So those are some insights from ceremony on Thursday night. I got my miracle for sure. And I am the miracle, and you are the miracle, and we are the miracle. So grateful. I want to just look really quickly at some of the comments from everybody. Dorota, hello, mi hermana, Ramon, and Philippe, and Catherine, Gretchen, so good to see you guys. Tammy, Becky Lynn, Claire, wow, Irene, thank you, Becky, Dave, Sylvia, holy moly, lots of folks. Okay, I won't go through everybody because there's so many. So nice to see you all on here. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you soon because we're going to be back. I know it, sooner than we think. All right, much love, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.